Yes, Galafo, and from Mabo, ama akoko to wire, ada Galafo, Semedica catchers, attend the wood to your tour. Yanko fighting tia corruption, Galafo, a jan dem, Galafo, messy government official one. You're not the part to a Galafo, na part two day, where the government official one, what the government official two about, and the government official three. I'm not the Pierre Ghana Parliament, Galafo, messy said 2014, 2016. Na Ghana for esu Ghana for esu o Dumsor hono Ghana for say na NDC for san kwan Ghana for no more san kwan enti se me no kase yai eye yewura John Dramani Mahama eye na appointee me kan say na appointee ye de ne kotum 30 years ewo US adaya Ghana for me say wakoma former energy minister kwa Brandon ko enkofo so mebo din ba me dem ayede mabo if 2014 2015 na ye kwa Brandon ko adaya energy minister Ghana for ene say $1 million bribe oje ya Ghana for me say oje ya chairman MPs for ye dey enye bi Ghana for me say won say NDC for Nyankopon apo won to ba Ghana for on say NDC for enemagu ase Ghana for se maka chem say ada ponchani bewu no e ho na ebehu ne tenten Ghana for se enim guase aba no na me say NPP for ka say wachida ho abaye chida ho Ghana for say na che say na chida wa ne to hu nyina ye dey ebu ho Ghana for se de all team no atonsom na yewra John Dramani Mahama say our corruption fight it ya Ghana for we dey abeto na boboa no Ghana for better abubuano mensi se Dumsor na ekoso na Ghana for ne ye tiem no ne NDC for ye dai san kwan Ghana for mensi nshira nkanyame na FBI na kopon nshira FBI mensi God bless America no say yampa mensi nyame nshira America for papa ene America for do match mo de enti ato yewura John Dramani Mahama so ye bema eto so ni corruption ho hwe a obe reset o man a Emre ni me see you John Dramani Mahama say where your bema so be fight yet corruption me see abeto na boboa no kwa Brandon ko akwa de bribe $1 million $1 million US for the o match o mo de Ghana for as say obe face jail obe face jail e friend say 30 years Ghana for na the man ye hu ni say energy committee na parliament no obi aje 5,000 Ghana for daytime no na me say NDC for omu rough NDC for na Satam who na ye majority leader Ghana for Satam no na ye agbangba ya bosum ya abetra so amagana anieru one Ghana for mebuafu eni braba na me say me be bo video na chew na what details na Ghana for me say ubedwa na me say NDC for echi obitum ase wanye NDC ni echi obitum say corruption tin ya tinatuma nyame ntu o muka ntu o masefo ka Ghana for say NDC for corruption project kan omoteso no enya asem ketu akora Ghana for eti wo di answer mebo video kwa mo nya bia hwe no message say channel ni di voiceofnsawamtv say ene no first time ahwem videos a no subscribe to YouTube channel na ire amami wo bia no like no share no say commenting notification bell na do say me say be ya anytime bia voiceofnsawamtv new video betu no won ta so betu ma ire akab Ghana for mo me yan go hwe na wo wia black rasta so ke kan kwasasem bi na wo tia wo be dwa rough Ghana for mo me yan hwe mo me yan go hwe na se me ka je se kronfo entimi nche na yan go kronfo already no o me ya kronfo ango Ghana for mo me yan go hwe
me se Ghana enka ne no ne achiguo na yewura John Dramani Mahama ne second come ye oba ye de me se ye hu nyina da so eno na ya na me ka tell say NDC amamuo ayese COVID-19 no da bia ye discover new cases ada na me ka sa say 2014 2015 ani ye ni abre ani ye ti o man Ghana mu a na Dumsor ekuyen e ma ye di ko wie 2016 no Sena NDC ye ni abra ni ye Dumsor egu nkofo dwuma se nkofo dwuma no sena NDC aba ye wura Dramani Mahama ji o manum eye ntwogo John la ya ho John won ka no kore no sena o mo ti o man Ghana mu ha e no mo de sika mom na no mo efum di bribe wa kese wo man Ghana mu a ya ti abrante bi wo US a wo ye Ghana ni ba a ye fa na Asante Berko sa abrante bi wo ye dwuma bank kese bi wo US na baby ani Ghana for ye kwakoto sa ye power badges e wo Turkey no sa abrante ni sa Turkey company no ani Ghana aban e sa abre NDC aban ye wo adwodwama ni mama di wo mani no omufa kana city kwaso tua $1 million bribe ema wo man Ghana sabre NDC abaya na wo so no the MPs ni the ministers FBI for we mu aba beto ja say sabre no abrantie ne sa Turkish company ni NDC abaya sabre ne yewura dodoma ni mama di o manim no aje bribe omu tua bribe ma Ghana ban FBI for we mu ni biem ema ne beto ja say bribe ni sika ni bi ko energy minister yes, Abren, and this about almost energy minister. To him, what Sabren, one and a energy minister, and this fair John, one energy minister. A camera don't call. Woman, you not tell my God, them have edgy bribe Libby. A to him one. So, could take a crown on power badges now. Omuka, we are up pocket $5,000. No, we are pocket $5,000. Omuka will tell like a say no more that. It's every year for you more 1 year. And I'm about to just say, self Ponia 2014, 2015, 2016, and this Abani Rat on Dramani Mama Dio Manu, Bonia Omudi or my Ghana. Now, every they say, every year from Fabrantiano, I'm or my Ghana, no mamma may said Natamaku Jenny, or my mamma to Trump Papa, so no man can say, I shall some Amanacusia for coffee. I mean, we say, and this is for mum, and ya comfortati a moment to my Ghana. Mobile by Mama said to say, your baby ora operation recover all loot. One can some recover one all loot. Because one can some ya cromfo. It's OSP, where your test case. Among and the baby who say we are competent, we are Boduma. Sassam will show coffee come here. Na me minim se FBI for your chi ministers ni bu airport on be you hwemu ya beto dey minim se ye be chi nkrofo bu airport ko mu nyina mo ya kromfo NDC aban mo ya kromfo da bia me ka kire mo me se akromfo na no mo fair zone o mo ana asaba ni ebi sign sa kromfo na no o yewura to damani mama ji o manim o mo ana asaba sa kromfo na scammers no o mo ana asaba Minia, but I say Obama Shama in your TV.
What Tama or refinery boss Yini Goldman Sachs former worker ye jailing na one here become 30 years no. I think say you say NDC ni former ministers ni MPs no. Omonda papa na say one snitch. Because enko betime plea deal. America case bia obenya bia usually no. You can do a plea deal. And can imagine say papa ye plea deal. And we decide say onko no nko abeko jail potentially be 30 years. And kobe snitch obi a waji scan be chief directors, MPs, former ministers, former government officials, presidential staffers near do be oji scan bibia no obebudinya kabaina. We have about 50 lists or more because me can report on State Department for website, so every year for say a lot of people were involved, never be play high ranking government officials. And me and my politics reporting kakrano, you can see say mostly for African countries they are contractor yeah nenye omo ye civil servants and a few other sectors no but na politicians any year civil servants be chief directors near those who for we blog to so we the command minister on sign this all the bibia to so also the bibi to so nti wo share be for report mom say it's a grand scheme ye che no UK no mo extradite no enu nti na say aye ka say Imagine passport head natum. In fact, normally America ye chu be near convicting no cry ye be ja no akofie. O time so no our report on no be serve sentence. But we judge so a flight risk into a passport. And our remanding no so mani nkofie. Until say November never so be sentence no fully. Into them. And I make us an irene my usually oba ne kunu be na mo de omunim ho hwe but we now they will be the most impacted about papa issue. But maybe them better politicians don't be grateful and say because it appears to me that as a sacrificial lamb. Now because if you look at the way Africa politics any contract near they say they are awarding there are bigger fishes there. FBF it's possible so munya investigation on better so Acheche other people said they abutri kade omche ba kono machimie no machimiensa no. But in this case, as a papa no kwane ahange no. The other side of it is that share charges now or de charging more. Or no one so has a fiduciary responsibility to breach here. Fiduciary nature so we a bank a jumayenia. It is a one bank no agency relationship be emremuno ebusuambo bi da mumu. Number 2, also na wako bank who school a unim bank who law and na unim say America law no near maybe one way jitum near maybe one way jintum. Into the moment of be breach no and yen na be sacrificial lamb won't so we boom ran so. Because charges no the born the first one guilty of conspiracy to violate US anti-bribery laws. I know the or no as a US banker or no as an American banker, an American citizen onim law way. So that's one obligation or no share some that way as it. No and Ghana officials because Ghana officials no money US law as but papa no say American citizens to count. Number 2 charges violating Foreign Corrupt Practices Act and also America law and also onim because as a banker he's aware of it. Nti no they say ya no sacrificial lamb ni bema enye ye because he has the fiduciary responsibility and our duty no. Third charge conspiracy to commit money laundering. Charges we nyina no jury no 9 days and omo dey deliberations 9 days omo di case no 3 hours no omo wie jury for ni nyina unanimously say oh you guilty odifo so enti utumo so ono wasoa ena waka na no atum because enyesa enka obobodin mum dey a enka ebia ebenya hwan official 1 official 2 official 3 sana FBI for level no say top government officials and FBI for no reporter de ba court it was standard in evidence recording one say FBI for no nim FBI for no recording no apart from the emails no de bia fa Gmail ni ade omutumi nyaaye no recording no so the telephone conversation because the FBI in the State Department for reporters say covert recordings te say all can say oh sika no be in cash no be chiche ne cash ade amankofo eno mbusa say ne obeye den na ne sako so omfa bank we eno ti no te companies ne shell companies be ni America be o different companies countries ni ade ansa na ni nyina finally sika ne be do a oche e de akoma omo nti this is a very a legally charged case but it's also politically charged because of the number of politicians who said the FBI and State Department for reports and say MPs whom state officials presidential staffers near the bribery is a long list but Papano has protected all of them by keeping quiet and here say FBI for that omo maka ni na obefre from because we Dumsor home contractor because na dey emergency situation you know na was a chinchina a company solve Dumsor problem because we say na 2016 so ye beto aba nti pressure wa aban so nti between 2014 and 2015 basi 2016 then also by force to me solve energy crisis and who sikani o FBI for no report mo che so mo ntimi account for ni na because
jet Ghana for mi wie na papa pa no eteche de oyem be hyew no eteche Ghana for na mbese mbusa question bi Ghana for ohwede ekoyi a yewura John Dramani Mahama ene ye friend say NDC F4 owura team no o betima fight etia corruption ana say corruption fight etia wo mu ai so wo gini say corruption no atwa for yewura John Dramani Mahama so ama say what the how many chigu ho ama say owura team no so adani busy a metra say try yes e wa ase honom try yes say there corruption no and expose John Dramani Mahama corruption e di yewura John Dramani Mahama so nkunim ama say the nim agu ase ama na to go on ma try yes e wa comment section honom Ghana for anso ha ba wo de share ma me na me nto aso ma wate share na me say say we there at the NDC co opposition NDC co opposition me say sa case we ya the NDC co opposition ade yewura John Dramani Mahama so ya Asem ni Ghana for say de nyankopon aso na hwe Ghana for me say nyankopon aso yewura John Dramani Mahama hwe say why Ghana for mummy enkotie black rasta won so no kwase Asem ene ni nsem bi okeka mummy em ne enkotie no Ghana for ebe je won nsem share many pattern our political platform be awo so our Facebook and WhatsApp share many pattern me da say
Akufo-Addo's former Tor MD jailed in the US. Jailed in quotes. Now this guy has been convicted of a crime The crime is bribery. And now that he's been convicted, he's waiting for the sentencing. And a crime like this in the United States of America, he will go to jail for a maximum of 30 years. It depends on the judge now to say, okay, maximum or reduced. But the maximum is 30 years in prison. Who are we talking about? He's called Kweku Asante. How many people remember this guy? How many of us recognize Kweku? How many of us remember this guy? Can I tell you something about him? Listen, this man here was the managing director of Tema Oil Refinery in 2020, in the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yes, Ghana for Mumma Mimram Hakakra, Ghana for oh, say, Yadina Nado, Edi Bata home, Ghana for Mamum Remu, Black Rasta too much, Ghana for Mumusaba was say. Nipa ben recommended no e ma 2020 no Nana Akufo-Addo appointee no Ghana for almost any year eti abem na eti go ukọ appointees fo ni bi ho a ukọ appointees fo ni bi ho no a ese wo kọ pemmoa e de abrɛ constituency na se MPP fo a na appointees fo no bi e behave che o se de omunye party ni mese ebi mu pe school aba ko ebi mu pe school placement kwa keke krampo no Ghana for na ebi mu nye den enya bi our appointees won be free ba e ba ne say ana say nipa no 2020 2014 2015 wotimi ni NDC for link and wotua bribe ye den ema NDC for mpanimfo Ghana for na 2020 2016 ya baba ya appointed by 2020 epum ni ya appointed so me MD na why na a lobby man no obey Ghana for almost say na the Akufo-Addo appointees no na do na ya NDC for Miss on bakwa wo yes wo recommend the man na adon na adon the problem be man no do recommend the man na adon and na wo asi utrase wonim agu ase na wonim be koso agu ase da NDC for how mu the MPP for nam no wo be brekra che ye nyina dira mo ye ade man ye yasa NPP for why nim so ye NPP ni ye fa ma NPP ni na ye de akoma obi and no mo se de na adon din abata ho e teni one pa kro na wo recommend the man na ado no wonim agu ase Ghana for ma me hu wade nkyere e wo ho no no me fa bremne mra black roster too much because nipa we NDC ni ana na ado so ono kwa so ye papa ono kwa so ye papa akọ heaven ana ene abewie ni say no na next time ye ba ba mu bi ma ene ye opposition ana chesi ye MPC ye minister ye ministers ye ambassador ere eto enye mra ya ba ba na tie yi because ene ye opposition ana ye hu ko for mo ere ye adwumade ma NPP for say the Bible ka say nye omo ka say ready no ana be ko soro ahemem no ye nya ba ba mu a mesi ye nya ba ba mu a ye mkra ye ka say enkofu be kan ya hye se ye hwan mo It is your son and Dr. Mahama'S Baumia. Sabre woman and now no nyina appointees. Omo mbe buni man. One starting him who was started crab bob on him. E ye pa so be nesa. Tigana for mommy enkohwe na mu wi so ma wo so ma me hu adwenkyere wo comment section. Say problem no efri na nado. Ana se efri hwan efri enkofo no matwa na nado ho ahia. Ana sabi o mantu na futu papa ene ko ND say no. Ghana for me hu adwenkyere wo. Na say share many patterns and say to aso. Share many patterns me ko tie black rasta.
My brother, my sister. But before then, he had done something very terrible. He is an American and a Ghanaian dual citizenship. This man here worked with Goldman Sachs. He also worked, my brother, my sister, with AXA. And he used this to leverage on something to the point of bribing another man. You know who we are talking about? This is the man. Come here. Run the dossier. And watch this. Asante Kweku Berko is a 52-year-old Ghanaian American economist, finance expert, and former investment banker who was convicted yesterday by a U.S. federal jury for orchestrating a $1 million bribery scheme involving Ghanaian government officials. Which officials? Mahama'S officials. An LPP man who bribed NDC people for something that will shock you. He's a dual citizen of the United States and Ghana. Berko has served in executive roles at major global financial institutions and previously held the position of managing director at the Tema Oil Refinery tour. Following a 9-day trial in Brooklyn, New York, he faces up to 30 years in prison for violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, and money laundering. Berko's financial career collapsed due to an international bribery investigation tracking illicit transactions between 2014 and 2017. His career is finished. He arranged over 2.5 million American dollars in bribes through a local intermediary while working at Goldman Sachs. He funded Ghanaian officials, including a 1 million package for the Minister of Power, and we shall identify him soon, at the time, to secure a power plant contract for a Turkish energy firm called AXA Holiday. Do you understand? He bribed the Minister of Power at the time, one Donko. 1 million. He flew Ghanaian officials, 5 of them from the Ministry of Power, all the way to Turkey on behalf of AXA and bribed Kwabena Donko, according to this, 1 million American dollars. My brother, my sister, these were the days of Mahama'S Dumsor. We were all running around. Mahama was looking for a way we could get power. Oh, anything power Mahama will grab, not knowing his own appointees were slapping him from behind. They took a bribe so that they will bring a Turkish company through single sourcing, whatever it is, to come and deal with our Dumsor here. Formally charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in April 2020. This is Asante Kweku Berko. He was arrested in the UK in November 2022 and extradited to the US in July 2024. Listen, are you watching? He was arrested in 2022. He fought it for 2 years. He didn't want to be extradited. It took 2 years to extradite him finally to the US. And when he arrived, oh, the evidence was too heavy for him. He was found guilty by a federal jury in Brooklyn on the 6th of August, just yesterday, 2026. Late yesterday, when we had already closed, for FCPA violations and conspiracy to commit money laundering. He's remanded in federal custody, awaiting final sentencing. Asante Kweku Berko, very brilliant and sharp guy. My brother, my sister, we decided to speak with the American people, the Department of Justice, and they directed us to their website that they have all the information there. And true to their words, they do have that. Watch this. Former Goldman Sachs investment banker convicted of foreign bribery and money laundering, and this was yesterday. Run the story. Watch this. Defendant Asante Berko paid more than $1 million American dollars in bribes related to the development of a power plant in Ghana, Brooklyn, New York. Asante Berko, a dual citizen of the United States and Ghana, was convicted today by a federal jury in Brooklyn on all counts of an indictment charging conspiracy to violate the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act FCPA, violating the FCPA, and money laundering conspiracy for paying bribes to Ghanaian government officials in connection with the development of a power plant in Ghana. Now, the verdict followed a 9-day trial before United States District Judge Diane Gujarati. When sentenced, Berko faces up to 30 years in prison. Berko was ordered remanded pending sentencing. Joseph Nochela Jr., United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, A. Tyson Duva, Assistant Attorney General of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, and James C. Barnacle Jr., Assistant Director in charge, Federal Bureau of Investigation, New York Field Office, announced the verdict. Today's verdict marks another significant victory in this office's long-standing commitment to rooting out corruption, stated United States Attorney Nochela. Now, the defendant abused his access to high-level foreign government officials and his platform as an investment banker at a prestigious American firm to line his own pockets with millions of dollars. We live in a global economy, and that American companies must be able to compete in fairly, said Assistant Attorney General Duva of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. This defendant corrupted that fair competition. He abused his position at a world-renowned American investment bank by helping bribe Ghanaian officials so he and his co-conspirators, including senior executives at a Turkish company, could make money. Today's conviction makes clear that criminals who undermine our country's interest by corrupting foreign governments and cutting off fair competition will face the full force of the Department of Justice. Everything is in there. And we have told you everything. Now, who was the minister who was allegedly bribed? He's called Kwabena Donkor. Kwabena Donkor. People old like this normally have integrity. I cannot vouch for this one from what I have heard. Those who don't know him, run the dossier and watch this. Kai Dodo, Shege Damburuba. Kai! Dr. Kwabena Donkor is a 68-year-old Ghanaian energy expert, academic and politician who served as Ghana's first minister for power and is the member of parliament representing the Pru East constituency. Is he still the member of parliament? I will tell you that soon. Now, at a point, he decided to resign. Why did he decide to resign? And the resignation was because he was unable to stop load shedding. That's integrity, isn't it? Let's go back to the dossier. My brother, my sister, and watch this. In late 2014, President John Dramani Mahama created the dedicated Ministry of Power to tackle the country's electricity deficit. Dr. Donkor was appointed to head it. Amid public pressure, Dr. Donkor publicly stated that he would resign if he could not completely halt the regular blackouts by December 31, 2015. True to his words, when the power grid failed to fully stabilize by the deadline, he tendered his resignation on the 2nd of January 2016. Is he still an MP? No. He was an MP. Pro East. Is he still the boss of Tor? Is he still? Has he ever been the boss of Tor? No. Is he still the minister of power? No. Was he? Yes. Did this man, my brother, my sister, in the days of Mahama'S, resign in integrity? Yes, he did. Did he take $1 million American dollars as a bribe? Did he?
Yes, get up for OJ bribe no and answer one before cross me to us no. What the answer one? At US for the A chantro and answer moon chantro. Get up for so what J bribe no. So comment section so what J. Oh, evidence the boy now what J. And I was our integrity and wait man wait oh hey Get up for what the mommy who adventure our comment section what J and answer one with the evidence here shown you know. Any FBI for the winning to moon chantro or Gianna one. Carafo, so what you did want to comment section say yes or G was our shaman in the pattern. I share in the pattern with political platform your day. Oh, so share.
When did the bribery thing start? From 2014, correct? He went into it. And I'm talking about Kweku. And they started talking. Can I tell you more? You know the company that finally was brought in to try and solve Ghana's Dumsor problem is called AXA Energy from Turkey. The U.S. federal bribery trial and conviction. While AXA continues to build out power infrastructure, the company's early entry into the Ghanaian market a decade ago. This is 2026. So somewhere in 2016, when Kwabena Donkor was still the power minister, became the focal point of a major international corruption case. The verdict happened yesterday. A U.S. federal jury in Brooklyn, New York, convicted former Goldman Sachs investment banker Asante Berko for orchestrating a massive bribery scheme on behalf of AXA, then a Goldman client. The court evidence proved that between 2014, when Kwabena Donkor was the Minister of Power, and 2017, Berko, senior Turkish energy executives and Ghanaian intermediaries funneled over $1 million American dollars in illicit bribes to senior Ghanaian government officials, including 46,000 American dollars distributed directly to members of parliament. Did you hear that? Members of parliament. Members of Abade parliament. 46,000 American dollars to secure ratification for Access original 5-year power plant deal. Free trouble for MPs to sell out our nation. Minister of Power allegedly received $1 million and pocketed. And I'm a man of integrity. And if this thing does not work, I am resigning. And he removes his glasses. You can see my eyes are red. I was trained in integrity and I will resign after $1 million pocketed in free trouble, allegedly. Concealment and holy rain. Conspirators utilize shell corporations such as Tricop Group, fake consulting invoices, and coded language referring to incoming bribe payouts as holy rain. Kweku and all the conspirators, they called bribe holy rain. And so krum. Whilst we were fighting all over Ghana, hey, Dumsor, people were taking bribe, 46,000 American dollars, allegedly for parliamentarians. The minister resigned because he couldn't deal with Dumsor properly. And we clap for him, man of integrity. Now we are being told that he took $1 million. And members of parliament of Ghana took 46,000 American.
Yes, Ghana for mami who adventure e comment section ho. Is say MDC aban oba describe o mo say men kan tell say frakadam aban. Na wa ho ya corruption o bet ma fight here. O bet ma fight here corruption. Mami who adventure e comment section ho no. Ai mami who adventure o hu hia me pa. O bet me yisu bibia de akere wa adwen. Na wo we so share. Mess say sharing dem. Mon share pa mani nu akiri. Emi ehun say dey say NDC for no ya kromfo. Eya kromfo na se me ka chem se enkofo no resetting no atonzum ye de this ye be format Ghana so de Ghana CIA say de Ghana dane crime scene pa se de John Dramani Mahama e ka na crime scene yes John Dramani Mahama membo aye se COVID-19 yare no every bia no day bia ye record new cases. It is a corruption de Ghana for e twa fa ye John Dramani Mahama so a say ye rakofo ka say corruption no enyini te say adam now wo John Dramani Mahama wo John Dramani corruption adokro say we bet ma fight here corruption. Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia ono pe na mo krono da ono pe ana wuntimi fa krono charges ana say we bia nyede enzo tono so. It Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia 2028 ono ebedi o mampanyini ama corruption say aye tan okrum anu a won so corruption so e wona mambom share on to say Ghana for nyina nsa ba ye dey e beka me da ase.